Hello everyone. We were studying French Revolution. In previous video, we studied up to here that the France society was divided into three states: clergy, first state clergy, second state nobility, and third state these big merchant, big businessmen, merchant, court officials, lawyers, then peasants and artisans, then the small peasants, landless labor and servants. Now we will start from here. We also studied about that only the member of third states were were have to pay taxes. Like these members, big businessmen, these were the members who were paying tax, and the member of first state and second state were exempted from the paying taxes. Now, the Society of States was part of feudal system that dates back to the Middle Ages. What was feudal system? Feudal system was like the big landlords system. The people were there who owned the land, and they gave the land to the landless farmer, and in lieu of that land the farmer will serve them in their homes as servants and in their army, and every work they had to do which was ordered by the feudal lords. So this was the feudal system. The term old regime is usually described the society and institution of France before 1789. So the old regime was the system, this whole system of three states, rich and poor, clergy, nobility. This whole system was called as the old regime. This was the system before 1789, because in this year French Revolution happened. So prior to this year there was the system of three states and all this. Now figure 2 shows that how system of states in France society was organized. Peasants made up of 90% of the population. It means in the whole population of France, 90% of the population was peasants, farmers, and only a smaller number of them owned the land they cultivated. It means very small number of people were cultivating their own land. All the peasants were cultivating the land of the rich landowners, the feudal lords. Now about 60% of the land was owned by nobles, church, and other rich members of the third state. 60% of the land was by the church, nobles, and the rich member of the third state. The member of the first two states, that is clergy, nobility, enjoyed certain privileges by the birth. The most important of these was exemption from paying taxes. As I told earlier, that these two states were exempted from paying taxes. Which one? First state and second state. Now the member of the first two states, most important of these was exemption from paying taxes. The nobles further enjoyed feudal privileges. As I told, feudal privileges means the worker, the cultivator had to serve in their army, had to serve in their homes, at their mansion, in their fields, everywhere they have to work. These included feudal dues. Feudal dues means they had to give certain amount of their crops. That was feudal dues, which they extracted from peasants. Peasants were obliged to render services to the lords, to work in their house, fields, and to serve in their army, to participate in building roads. So as this all work had to be done by the peasants to the feudal lords. Now the church too extracted its share of taxes called tithes from the peasants. There was a certain type of tax called tithes. Here tithes is what? a tax levied by a church comprising 1/10 of the agricultural produce. So this 1/10 of their crop they have to give to the church. And finally, all members of third estate had to pay taxes to the state. Okay, these includes a direct tax and called tail, a number of indirect taxes which were levied on articles everyday consumption like salt or tobacco. So have you noticed this one thing? Tithis, they had to pay taxes to church. Peasants had to pay taxes to church, and finally all the members of third estate had to pay taxes to state also. So the life of the poor peasants, landless peasants, were very, very problematic. They were exploited by the state. They had to pay taxes to church, they had to pay taxes to state, and they had to give the services to the lords in their working house and fields and in their army. So it was a very, very bad situation for the peasants. Now, so this is the image in your textbook. You can see this. The poor fellow brings everything: grains, fruit, money, salad. The fat lord sits there ready to accept it all. He does not even care to grace him with a look. It means he is ready to accept everything, and he does not even care to grace him with a look. He doesn't want to see him at all. Just give all the things, give all money, give all the vegetables, salad, everything, just go out. That was the attitude of the nobles at the time. Now, the nobleman is the spider. And peasants is the fly. The more the devil has, the more he wants. So this is, we can see that with the picture, it is very much clear. The more he wants, more. Now you can see here the fly and the spider. So now there is activity. We can see here. Explain why the artist portray the nobleman as the spider and peasants as the fly. Why the artist has portrayed. So we all know the answer. We can see that what the spider do. Spider slowly eats the prey. Okay, so just like here, this poor person is a prey, a fly, and this is the spider, and now he has been trapped into the net of the spider or this nobleman. Now, the struggle to survive. The population of France rose from about 23 million in 1715 to 28 million in 1789. It means what? The population of the France was increasing. This led to a rapid increase in the demand for food grains. Obviously, and when population increases, they want food. So the price of bread, which was staple diet for majority, rose rapidly. Supply of the food grains was constant, and and population increase. So what happened? The demand increase, and demand will lead to the price increase. Most workers were employed as laborers in the workshops, whose owner fixed their wages. Now, their owner had fixed their wages. They had only fixed amount of daily wages. But when the price of the bread rose rapidly, their salary, their wages were not enough to buy them the piece of bread. Then what happened? But wages did not keep pace with the rise in the price. So the gap between the poor and the rich widened. So what happened? Rich become more richer and poor become more poor. So that gap between the rich and poor widened. Things became worse when drought or hail reduced the harvest. This was the very bad situation, and moreover, sometimes what happened? Drought or sometimes hailstorms. So that these two phenomena of climate, of weather, they destroy the crops. So now in this situation, when food grains is already in shortage, food grains become very very rare. This led to a subsistence crisis. Subsistence means crisis for life. Crisis for life. People don't have food to eat. So something that occurred frequently in France during old regime. Okay, understand? So subsistence means what? An extreme situation where basic means of livelihood are endangered. That is called subsistence crisis. Now this is a activity we can see here. There are some clues given in this box. Fill the blank boxes, figure 4, with appropriate term from among the following: food rights, scarcity of grains, increased number of deaths, rising food prices, weaker bodies. Now we can see here, bad harvest will lead to what? Bad harvest will lead to scarcity of grains. Scarcity of grains. Then scarcity of grain will lead to increase in the rising food prices. Rising food prices. Then poor can no longer buy the bread. So then what happened? Poor cannot buy bread. Their body become weak. Weaker bodies. First column, weaker bodies. Okay, and food rights. Weaker bodies and food rights. It will come here, like weaker bodies here, food rights here, and will ultimately lead to the deaths. So this we can do in this activity. Now come to here. A growing middle class envisages an end to privileges. In the past, peasants and workers had participated in revolt against increasing taxes and food scarcity. But when they lacked the means and programs to carry out full-scale measures, they would bring about a change that would bring about changes in social and economic order. What happened earlier? The peasants and workers were participating in many revolt against the taxes increase, okay, against king and food scarcity. But what happened? Gradually, they did not have the resources and planning to make programs for full-scale measures. Then this was left to those groups within the third state who had become prosperous and had access to education and new ideas. So what they left these things to revolt, to make some planning strategy to those people who were little bit rich in these classes, in the middle classes. Then the 18th century witnessed the emergence of social groups termed middle class, who earned their wealth through an expanding overseas trade from manufacture of goods such as woolen and silk textiles that were either exported or brought by the richer member society. In addition to merchants and manufacturers, third state included professional lawyers or administrative officials. It means the middle class, the middle class people were also growing. Some people were involved in merchandise. They were doing import and export business, so they became rich. And other members also, just like lawyers and administrative officials, they also had some money. So the poor peasants relied upon them for the revolt. Now all of these were educated and believed that no group in society should be privileged by birth. They were educated and they told people that this is the wrong practice. The three structure of society, three states were wrong practice. No one should be privileged by birth. Rather, a person's social position must depend upon his merit. Merit means talent. Okay. The talented person will be given the privileges. These ideas envisaging a society based on freedom and equal laws and opportunities for all, were put forward by philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau and Locke. John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Locke and Rousseau. So these two persons were great philosophers. Of France. They said that society should be based on freedom and equal laws. Society should be based on freedom and equal laws, and opportunities for all were put forward by these, and opportunities for all. So three things was first was freedom, equal laws, and opportunities for all. These two persons, John Locke and Rousseau, they said these three things should be there in society. And they also said, in his two treatises of government, this is the book written by John Locke. He said, in this book, he refuted the doctrine of the divine and absolute right of the king. He said that there should not be any divine or absolute right of the king. What happened? The king of that time, Middle Ages, they used to say to themselves as the representative of God. Kings used to say to people that I have been sent by the God, and I have all the rights. I can do anything. If you will say anything against me, it will be against God. So that was the theory of divine, okay, an absolute right. Okay, so that Locke said that we cannot accept this theory. Then what happened? Rousseau carried the idea forward, proposing a form of government based on social contract between people and their representative. Rousseau said that there must be a social contract between people and their representative. It means that the representative of people, it means the ruler and the people, there must be a contract between them, the social contract between them. Okay, in the Spirit of the Laws, this is a book written by the Rousseau, Montesquieu, book written by Montesquieu. Montesquieu was also a philosopher. He said that he proposed a division of power within the government. Between whom? Three parts of government we studied in 8th class: legislative, executive, and judiciary. There are three parts of every government. Legislative means to make laws, to make law. Okay, then executive and judiciary. Executive means to implement law. Third one, judiciary. It means to provide justice. Legislative means making law. Okay, making law, implement, and justice. So these things are these three parts of the government. Now this model of government was put into force in the USA after 13 colonies declared their independence from Britain. You know what? Britain had a colony in India. Similarly, Britain also had colony in America. 13 colonies were there of Britain in USA. Okay, and this model was followed. Which model? This model, division of power within the government. This model was followed when these 13 colonies got independence from Britain, and France helped these colonies to get independence because Britain was the enemy of France. Yes, the American Constitution and its guarantee of individual right was an important example of political thinker in France. So as the American colonies got independence, they wrote their constitution, and their constitution emphasized the individual rights. It means every person is free, every person has certain rights, and that is an important example of political thinker in France. So people in the France also were seeing the America. They were seeing that America has written their constitution and people were giving rights, or all are free, they can do anything, so we should do these things. So they were being inspired by the American Revolution. Okay. Then now the idea of these philosophers were discussed intensively in salons, coffee houses, spread among people through books and newspaper. So these ideas of John Locke, Rousseau, and Montesquieu, three persons, these ideas began to spread. People were discussing these ideas because all people were oppressed, all people were being exploited. So people discussed these things. We can also do this thing. Now they were frequently read aloud in the groups for benefit of those who could not read and write. So the people who were illiterate, the people who knows the reading and writing, they can read it aloud for making them understand. The news that Louis XVI planned to impose further taxes to be able to meet the expense of the state generated anger and protest against the system of privileges. So lastly, what happened when the hear the news that Louis XVI is planning to impose further taxes, he is planning to increase taxes. So that was the trigger of anger. That was the triggered anger among the people and protest against the system of privileges. So this is about the first chapter of history. In next video we will continue. Okay. So thank you so much.